Hello and welcome back to the channel, my dear friends. Before we jump in, if you're someone who believes that aging should be joyful, strong, and full of surprises, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss another life-changing tip. Let me ask you something. Why is it that some people in their 70s are out dancing, gardening, cooking, even learning piano, while others, the same age, struggle just to get out of bed? The answer may lie in 7 powerful abilities that most people lose after 65. But if you still have them, you're not just aging well, you're aging exceptionally. Let me tell you about Howard, a 78-year-old retired engineer. He went for a routine checkup and surprised even the doctor. "Howard," the doctor said, eyes wide, "your test results look like someone in their early 60s. Howard just shrugged. "I haven't done anything special," he said. But what he didn't realize is, his everyday habits were protecting abilities that most of his peers had already lost. These aren't just fun party tricks. They are real, proven predictors of longevity. And today, I'll show you exactly what these 7 abilities are, so you can see how many you still have. Watch closely, and if you find this helpful, comment 1 below. If not, comment 0, and I'll work harder to improve. Now let's begin, because this could change the way you see aging forever. Sign 1. You can stand up from a chair without using your hands. Can you still rise from a chair without using your hands? I know it sounds like such a small thing, but trust me, it's not. I used to think the same way. Of course I can get up, I told myself, never giving it a second thought. But then one day, at my church group, I noticed something. As the meeting wrapped up, everyone stood to leave. Well, everyone except for 2 dear friends who needed help getting up. One used the armrest, the other reached out for her cane. And there I was, standing without even realizing I hadn't needed my hands. That moment stuck with me, because sometimes the biggest warning signs aren't dramatic. They're quiet. They sneak in on us when we're not paying attention. Turns out, scientists agree. According to the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy, this one simple ability, standing from a seated position without using your hands, is now considered a powerful predictor of how long we'll live and how independently we'll age. Dr. Sarah Matthews, who led the study, found that this tiny action reflects something much deeper: our leg strength, our balance, and our coordination. And once those things start slipping, it becomes much harder to live life on your own terms. By the time we hit 70, over half of people lose the ability to do this without help. But most don't notice until it's too late. That's the scary part. We assume we're fine until we aren't. I think of my friend Deborah. She's 72, sharp as ever, always the one cracking jokes during bingo. She told me once how surprised she was to learn she was the only one in her book club who could rise from the sofa unaided. She never thought it mattered, until 2 of her friends had serious falls that same winter. One broke a hip, the other never quite bounced back. And Deborah? She's still walking her dog, still going to yoga every Wednesday. So let me ask you, right now, can you stand from your chair without your hands? Give it a try. Sit tall, cross your arms over your chest, and slowly stand. If it's easy, wonderful. You're doing something right. But if it's hard, or worse, impossible, don't panic. That just means today is the perfect day to start building back that strength. You don't need a gym or fancy equipment. Just practice what I call morning chair stands. Sit down, stand up, no hands if you can. Start with 1, then try 2. In a few weeks, you'll notice the difference. Stronger legs, better balance, more confidence. Because growing older doesn't mean giving up power over your body. It means fighting, gently and persistently, for the little things that keep you free. And this, my friend, is one of them. Sign 2. You can have a conversation while walking. Let me ask you something. When you go for a walk with someone, can you still carry on a smooth conversation without needing to stop, slow down, or catch your breath? I used to take that for granted, truly. Talking while walking, it seemed like second nature. But one morning a few years ago, during our usual stroll around the neighborhood park, I noticed something different. My friend Linda, always full of stories, began pausing mid-sentence just to keep pace. Another neighbor, Bill, quietly dropped to the back of the group whenever we started chatting. It hit me slowly. This wasn't just about being winded. It was a sign that something deeper might be changing inside. Doctors call it dual task capacity, but I think of it more simply. It's the ability to move and think at the same time. Seems simple, right? But it turns out this is a big deal, especially as we age. According to the neurologists at the Mayo Clinic, walking and talking at the same time takes more brain power than most people realize. It's not just your legs that are working. Your heart has to pump enough oxygen, your brain has to coordinate movement and language, and your nerves have to keep everything flowing together without missing a beat. When those systems start to wear down, this little test, walking while speaking, becomes unexpectedly hard. I remember reading about a man named Gerald, 76, who walked daily with a group of friends. He didn't do anything fancy, just stayed active, kept up his conversations, laughed a lot. But over the years, the group changed. Some friends began falling behind. Some stopped talking during their walks altogether. Eventually, a couple of them suffered strokes. Gerald, though, kept going strong. It wasn't luck. His doctor later told him that his ability to walk and talk easily had quietly signaled excellent brain and heart health all along. That story stuck with me. Because what looks like a small ability is often a quiet indicator of how much we've managed to hold on to. And the truth is, if you can't walk and talk like you used to, it doesn't mean it's over. It just means it's time to start again. On your next walk, even if it's just around the living room, try reciting something familiar. A little poem, a prayer, maybe even the alphabet backwards if you're feeling playful. At first, it might feel strange or tiring, but that's how we rebuild those precious connections in the brain. Little by little. Don't wait until you're afraid to walk alone or find yourself too tired to speak. These tiny efforts, done now, may be the very things that keep your brain strong, your body moving, and your independence intact. It's never too late to start training your mind and body to stay in rhythm. And believe me, the simple joy of walking and chatting with a loved one without effort is one of life's most underrated treasures. Don't let it slip away. If you found these insights valuable, let me know by commenting yes below. Your thoughts matter, and I'd love to hear from you. Sign 3. You can balance on one foot for 10+ seconds. Here's a fun little fact for you. Flamingos can stand on one leg for hours without wobbling, even while sleeping. Now, I'm not saying we need to match that level of grace, but if you can balance on one foot for just 10 seconds, you might be doing something far more impressive than you think. Believe it or not, this small ability, one we don't often think about, has become one of the clearest signs of how well we're aging. And more importantly, how long we might live. I remember the first time I tried it. I was brushing my teeth, just passing the time, and thought, why not? So I lifted one foot a little off the ground. 5 seconds, then 7, and suddenly I was reaching for the sink. That tiny moment told me something I hadn't wanted to admit. My balance wasn't what it used to be. But instead of being discouraged, I got curious. I later read a study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine that tracked over 1,700 older adults, and it stopped me in my tracks. The study found that people who couldn't balance on one foot for 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of dying in the next 10 years. That's more predictive than age, health history, or even gender. Balance, it turns out, is more than just staying upright. It reflects the coordination between your brain, muscles, and nervous system. And once that system begins to weaken, the risk of falling becomes very real. Just ask my sister Irene. At a family gathering, she chuckled when I showed the grandkids my yoga pose, standing on one leg. Why would anyone our age need to do that, she asked. But just a few months later, she slipped in her kitchen, broke her hip, and everything changed. Rehab was slow. Her confidence never quite returned, and watching her go through that reminded me how fragile independence can be once a fall happens. But here's the good news. It's never too late to work on your balance. Even a few seconds a day can make a world of difference. I started by holding onto the kitchen counter while I lifted one foot, just 5 seconds on each side. Then slowly, over weeks, I built up to 10. Sometimes I do it while I brush my teeth, sometimes while waiting for the kettle to boil. It's become part of my rhythm now, just like putting on my slippers in the morning. And let me tell you, I walk more confidently now. I don't worry about stepping off a curb or climbing the porch steps. Most people don't realize their balance is fading until it's already gone. But we don't have to wait for a scary wake-up call. We can start right now, gently, safely, and consistently, because every second you spend strengthening your balance is a step towards staying independent, mobile, and free. So go ahead, lift one foot, steady yourself, and know you're doing something powerful for the woman you'll be in 5, 10, even 15 years from now. Sign 4. You remember names and recent events clearly. Have you ever surprised yourself by remembering someone's name or a detail from a conversation you had last week? Not just the kind of surface-level chit-chat, but something real, what their daughter was studying, or the joke they told at the barbecue last month. If you can still do that without much effort, let me tell you something. That's a remarkable gift, and it's one that's quietly disappearing among so many of our peers. Most people think that forgetting things, especially names, is just part of getting older. I used to believe that too. I'd brush it off when a friend couldn't remember where they put their keys or what they had for lunch. But the truth is, according to researchers at Harvard Medical School, significant memory decline is not a normal part of aging. In fact, retaining the ability to recall names and recent events past the age of 65 is now seen as a major marker of healthy brain aging. Take my friend Walter, for example. He turned 75 last year, and during his birthday celebration, he greeted each of his grandkids by name, including the newest in-law who'd only joined the family 2 months earlier. Not only that, he remembered a conversation he'd had with me about my garden during a phone call back in spring. Everyone laughed and said, "Walter's memory is sharper than all of ours." But what they didn't realize was this wasn't just a fun party trick. It was a sign that his brain was aging at a much slower pace than most people his age. Scientific studies back this up. Older adults who maintain strong memory recall have been shown to have healthier brain connectivity patterns and a significantly reduced risk, almost 47%, of developing dementia. Even more encouraging, these same adults tend to live longer by as much as 7 to 10 years. That's not just extra time, it's extra quality time. More years to enjoy your independence, your family, your passions. Now, if your memory hasn't been as sharp lately, please don't panic. That doesn't mean you're out of time. There are gentle, powerful ways to retrain your brain. I started with something simple. When I meet someone new, I say their name back to them right away. Then I make a quiet note to myself. Maybe they wear glasses, or have a kind smile, or mention something funny. Before bed, I review the names of people I interacted with that day. It's a little ritual now, like brushing my teeth, and it's helped me feel more in control of my mind. If remembering even one name a day feels hard right now, that's okay. Just begin. Start with one. The brain is like a garden. It grows where we give it attention. And even if you've lost a little ground, it's never too late to replant and water what matters. The best time to start is today, before more of those precious connections fade. You're not losing your mind. You're learning to protect it. And that, my friend, is one of the most loving things you can do for yourself and for the people who still count on your wisdom, your memory, and your stories. If you found these insights valuable, let me know by commenting yes below. Your thoughts matter, and I'd love to hear from you. Sign 5. You sleep soundly and wake refreshed. How did you sleep last night, truly? Did you drift off peacefully and wake up feeling restored? Or did you toss and turn, glance at the clock at 3 a.m., or wake up still feeling tired? If you're among the rare few who can say you consistently sleep through the night and wake up with genuine energy, then you're holding on to something incredibly precious. Most people don't realize this, but after age 65, good sleep becomes one of the most powerful and rare protectors of long life and mental clarity. Researchers at Stanford's Center for Sleep Sciences have found that high-quality sleep, meaning deep, uninterrupted rest, does far more than simply make us feel refreshed. It actively slows down the aging process. Seniors who maintain efficient sleep cycles show fewer inflammatory markers, sharper memory, and even a reduced risk of heart issues. The body doesn't just rest when we sleep, it repairs. It clears away waste in the brain, balances hormones, and strengthens the immune system. And when our sleep suffers, all of that gets disrupted. Over time, poor sleep can accelerate cognitive decline, increase the risk of chronic illness, and make us feel decades older than we are. I've seen it happen all around me. Friends who used to be full of life now spend their mornings groggy and their afternoons napping just to function. Many have turned to medications to help them fall asleep, and while those pills may offer temporary relief, they don't provide the kind of deep, healing rest our bodies truly need. Natural sleep, the kind that flows on its own, is what the body understands best, and it's the kind that offers the real protection. If you're struggling with sleep right now, know that you're not alone, and more importantly, that you can begin turning things around tonight. A few simple habits can make a world of difference. Going to bed and waking up at the same time each day, even on weekends, trains your body like clockwork. Turning off screens at least an hour before bed helps your brain prepare for sleep. A cool, dark bedroom can signal to your body that it's time to rest. And perhaps most importantly, if you wake during the night, try not to look at the clock. The anxiety of watching time pass only makes it harder to return to sleep. The truth is, we often underestimate the quiet work our body does while we rest. Sleep isn't wasted time, it's sacred. Every hour of peaceful sleep is a gift to our future self. And though aging brings many challenges, reclaiming our sleep is one of the most impactful things we can still control. Don't settle for restless nights. Give yourself permission to protect your rest, not just for comfort, but for your health, your memory, and the many days ahead you still have the power to enjoy. Sign 6. You can hold a meaningful conversation without dominating it. Have you ever caught yourself talking a little too long without realizing it? Or maybe you've noticed a friend who tends to repeat the same stories, not out of rudeness, but maybe because it's just harder for them to read the room these days. As we get older, it's easy to miss the gentle shifts in how we connect with others. But let me tell you something I've learned from experience. The ability to hold a real conversation, one where you listen as much as you speak, isn't just polite. It's powerful and rare. A good conversation is like a dance. There's a rhythm to it, a back and forth that makes both people feel seen and valued. When you still have that rhythm in your 70s or 80s, it says something special about you. It means you haven't just kept your voice, you've kept your awareness, your curiosity, your ability to care about what someone else is saying in real time. That's not always easy. I've had moments where I get so wrapped up in what I want to share, I forget to pause and really listen. And when I notice it, I feel a little sad. Not guilty, but reminded of how easy it is to lose touch with others if we're not careful. One of the hardest things about growing older is watching connections fade. Not just because people move away or pass on, but because we ourselves become harder to connect with. We talk more than we used to. We miss subtle cues. We stop asking questions. And sometimes, we don't even notice we're doing it. That's why I've started practicing a little habit in every conversation I have. I try to ask at least 2 questions before I share a story. I give space. I let the silence stretch a second longer than I used to. It's not just about good manners. It's about staying open, staying connected, staying present. A dear friend once told me, people remember how you made them feel more than what you said. That stayed with me, because the truth is we can become the kind of person others avoid, or the one they seek out, not because we're always interesting, but because we make them feel heard. That's a quiet kind of wisdom, and it's something we can choose to grow, even now. If you've noticed your conversations becoming a bit one-sided, don't be hard on yourself. Just start noticing, start asking, start listening like it's your first time hearing the story. You might find that your relationships feel warmer, your mind feels sharper, and the world opens up to you again, one thoughtful exchange at a time. If you found these insights valuable, let me know by commenting yes below. Your thoughts matter, and I'd love to hear from you. Sign 7. You adapt to new technology without major resistance. Have you ever felt like the world is moving just a little too fast? With all these new gadgets, apps, and digital tools popping up before you've even figured out the last one? I've felt that way too. It can be overwhelming, even discouraging. But I've also learned something important over the years. The ability to keep learning, to adapt, and stay curious, especially when it comes to technology, is one of the clearest signs that our minds are still sharp and flexible. And more than that, it's a quiet, powerful way to protect our independence. Many of my friends used to say, "I'm too old for that," whenever someone offered to teach them a new app or show them how to use their smartphone. But I noticed something during those long pandemic months. The ones who had made an effort to learn how to video call, how to order groceries online, how to check their health records digitally, they stayed connected. They stayed in control. The others, even the ones who were once very independent, began depending more and more on family members just to manage simple daily tasks. It broke my heart because it wasn't that they weren't capable, it was that they had given up trying. What I've come to understand is that adapting to technology isn't about being tech-savvy or clever. It's about staying mentally open. When you try something new, even if it's frustrating, your brain is forming new pathways, keeping those connections strong. And just like our muscles, if we don't use them, they weaken. I remember the first time I tried to download and use a new app on my phone. I got stuck, of course, but instead of walking away like I used to, I told myself I was going to sit with it for 10 minutes a day. Just 10. And slowly, the pieces came together. Now I can do things I never imagined. Send photos to my grandchildren, join video calls, even pay my bills from my kitchen table. If you've been resisting technology or telling yourself it's too late to learn, please don't. You don't have to master it all. Just pick one thing. One small digital skill you've been putting off. Give yourself a few quiet minutes to explore it. Ask for help without shame. Every click, every little aha moment is your brain staying young. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about keeping up with the life you've worked so hard to build. Learning to adapt isn't a sign of giving in to change. It's a sign you're still growing. Still choosing to show up for life, fully present and wonderfully capable. So how many of the 7 abilities do you still have? 3? 4? All 7? If so, give yourself a big hug. You're not just doing fine for your age, you're thriving. These aren't little party tricks. They're signs that your body and mind are aging slower than most people around you. And if a few of them were tough for you today, don't worry. Every single one can be strengthened, starting right now, with simple daily habits. You're not too old. You're just getting started. These abilities are more than just helpful skills. They're windows into your future. The ones who hold on to them into their 70s, 80s, even 90s, they're not lucky. They're intentional. They're actively preserving the pieces of life that matter most: mobility, memory, independence, and joy. If this video opened your eyes or gave you hope, hit the like button and comment below. Which of these abilities do you still have? I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because in our next video, we'll show you exactly how to protect and improve these 7 abilities, one day at a time. And please, share this with someone you love. It just might add years to their life.